What's up guys, Marco here. Today we're going to be breaking down Travis Scott's Stargazing. Hope you enjoy the video. Stargazing is the first and intro track on Travis Scott's third studio album, Astroworld. This track was produced by Sonny Digital, 30 Rock, BWheezy, B-Corn, Ritter, and mixing from Mike Dean. Okay, so today we're making Stargazing, which is arguably one of Travis Scott's best songs ever and has one of the most iconic beat switches of all time. But I mean, this type of track often comes with some insane production behind it, and I mean, in Travis's case, he actually has an insane production team behind the whole album, so I mean, his songs are an actual challenge to remake, I'd say. But I mean, I'd say, and I mean, I hope that you guys won't be disappointed in this remake, because in my opinion it turned out pretty accurate. So yeah, with that being said, let's jump right into breakdown. So first of all, to find our BPM, we're going to drag our song onto the track, and then we're going to head over to somewhere, I mean, past the half of the song, and we're going to make a cut right here, and we can just, I mean, delete that, and we're going to right click on this little arrow, then select detect tempo, and as you can see, our BPM was automatically changed to 150 beats per minute for the first part of the song. Okay, now moving on, we're going to start with the main melody, which was actually, I mean, the hardest part to remake. So I mean, here's a quick preview of it. Okay, so to take you with me to the process behind it, so first of all, the actual producer of the first beats loop, B-Corn, went on live and said that the whole first melody was, I mean, custom sound designed in Silent 1.
Every sound is in Silent 1, my favorite plugin. That's where every sound from Stargazing and the melodies, that's where it all came from.
So I mean, that's our start. Now, first of all, I'd say to look for a similar preset and then work my way from there. And I actually found, I mean, a pretty similar one, more specifically the Key Caroline preset. Now here, I mean, I messed a bit with the waveforms. I mean, here I've transformed this into a sine, and I've also turned up the attack a bit, some more changes in the cutoff area, and I mean, just everything needed to make it more accurate. Now, what I've done is I've layered these lower notes like here, after which I've just duplicated the pattern and laid down these higher notes. Because, I mean, we're going to need to add some different effects for the two later on, but for now it sounds like this. Okay, moving on. In the mixer, for the first instance, I've added Parametric EQ2, cutting both the low and the high end. Next, to really create that whole spacey sound, I've added two types of reverb, some chorus, and a tape mellow lo-fi for some wobble. So before it sounded like this. And now. Okay, moving on, the second instance. Here we need to have a more clear sound. So I've accentuated the mid end a bit, and I've also added a ton of reverb, and I've also added this tape mellow for wobble. But what I've also did different is that I've added this fast tremolo sidechain gate in a gross beat to really accentuate that whole wobble sound effect. Okay, so now everything all together. Alright, now halfway done with the main melody, we still need to add the flute. Okay, so first of all, even though the producer of this loop said he used Silent, I found it to be, I mean, much more easy to explain and to recreate using Serum. So I mean, we're going to go with Serum for now. So first of all, to take you through the whole tough process behind this flute, I first started with the basic shapes preset, which is actually implied in the name, all of the basic shapes you need. So first of all, we have a sine waveform, but if we take the wavetable position knob, we get different basic shape. And for this flute, we're going to be using a square wavetable, which is actually position number 4. From now on, we're going to widen this flute by 5 units, which to explain, I mean, it would be like layering the same flute 5 times. So I mean, it's easier to show than to explain. So with one voice and with 5 voices. Now, moving on, we're also going to filter this flute with an MG-Low24 filter, which basically only keeps most of the mid-high-end frequencies. And we're also going to head over to voicing, and we're going to turn on mono, legato, and we're going to take the portamento up by 58 milliseconds, which basically makes the notes slide from one to another. Now, finally, in the effects tab, I've added some hyperdimension, which works a bit like the widen effect from before, some distortion, chorus obviously, and extremely important, reverb. Okay, so all together. Okay, now with the main melody ready, let's move on to the drums. Alright, so first of all we have the hi-hat, which is actually identical, and I mean it's a basic two-step, nothing crazy, but we're going to be adding some reverb to it. Next off we have the identical snare, but here unfortunately it's ripped out of the main song, cause I mean it's really hard to identify layered snares like this one, but I mean it is what it is, I mean what else can you do? Okay, moving on, we're going to add an identical open hat, and here we're going to head over to the envelope settings, and we're going to turn everything down to 0% except for the sustain, so I mean the open hat will play only for the duration of the note. Following up, we have what I think it is the identical kick, more specifically the rack kick. And now, to finish the drums as a whole, we're going to add the 808, which I mean is a modified version of the spins, I think. I mean, much more saturated and distorted. Okay, and now to blend everything all together, we're going to head over to the mixer, and we're going to create an automation clip for the master, and we're going to create this drop effect right here, where the audio goes silent for like 2 beats, which is actually the reason to why you hear this click in the original song. Okay, so without any further ado, here is the first beat. Okay, moving on. So I'm not really into creating separate sections of the video for the transition part, but I mean this beat has one of the best transitions I've ever seen, so I mean now we're going to focus on the transition real quick before moving on to the second part of the song. So here we continue where we left off with the main melody, and first of all we're going to add the choir, and we actually have an identical preset. And hold up, let me just play it real quick for you. If you didn't recognize the preset by now, it was also used in Kanye West's Wolves and in Travis's 5% tint. Now at first this choir plays 2 semitones down before actually playing normally, so in context it should sound something like this. Okay, following up, we're going to add this identical Ozzy Vox. Now to actually fit it into the song, we're going to modify the starting point, and we're also going to pitch it down by 6 at first, and then by 4. Okay, following up for the transition itself, we're going to export the main melody, we're going to play it 1 octave down or 12 semitones, and we're also going to add some fruity low filter to create that underwater low pass filter type of effect. Following up for the bass, nothing special, just a basic slow wavetable. We're almost done here, so I mean, let's just quicken up the pace a bit. So I've remade this ARP kind of thing, using some steel drums and lead preset from Xenology. And finally, to kind of consolidate everything for the first part of the video, we're going to add a pretty similar, I'd say, rollercoaster sound effect. So now the transition all together. Okay, so what you just saw there was, a quick preview of this song's second beat, which we're also going to be moving on right now. So first of all, we're going to start with the main melody. Okay, so if you haven't figured out by now, right here we have, a reverse piano or synth-like type of melody, so, which is reversed, double time, and pitched up. First of all, before actually showing you how to remake the synth, I'm going to show you how the original melody itself was made. So, first of all, this melody right here was originally a loop named Trapper Samples 20 from the Trapper's Delight drum kit. Now, the producer of this beat, I think it was 30 Rock, who worked on the second beat, took this loop sample right here and he added some effects to it, I think a really subtle low pass filter and some reverb, and then double timed it, which essentially, you just double the speed of the loop and then pitch it up by 16 semitones. And in the end, we're left with something like this. Wanna compare to the original song? Okay. Now, that's essentially it for the main melody, besides this part right here. Here we're going to bring back the original loop, and this time we only pitch it up by 4 semitones. Wanna compare again? Okay. Okay, so that's it for how the melody for this song was transformed. Now I'll actually show you my recreation of this melody. So first of all, I brought back again the original loop, and then I reversed it. And now with the loop reversed, it sounds something like this. Now we're going to head over to the mixer and we're going to open up Melodyne, which is a VST which, essentially detects what notes are playing in a certain melody or loop or, whatever. So, let's record this real quick into Melodyne and then work away from there. Okay, so now we have something like this, which, is really close to the actual final pattern, because sometimes it can detect more notes than it should, and, you kind of need to go by ear, but nevertheless, it's generational VST. Now, after some adjustments in the piano roll, it should look something like this. Oh, and yeah, by the way, I'm using the previous suitcase preset from Purity. Now we're just going to export it, and then we're going to follow the same steps as before, and in the end we have something like this. I'd say that, it's pretty close, really, so, it's just a quick showcase of how the actual loop was made and my attempt to recreate it. And, we're still going to be using the original loop nevertheless for an accurate as possible final result. So with that, the main melody once again. Okay, now that we're done with the main melody, let's move on to the drums. Okay, so first of all we have the identical hi-hat, which plays a pretty bouncy pattern. Following up we have a basic 3 and 7 clap. Following up, we have the open hat, where there's a lot going on since we have 3 different open hats, all identical by the way. So first of all, we have this reverse open hat playing a halftime bounce pattern. Looking at the velocity, one of them plays a bit more quiet to create, some more bounce in the mix, and followed up by this we have 2 layered open hats. Next off, we have what I think is, I'm pretty positive that is identical 808, which is essentially, just the overused 808. And to close off the drums and everything so far, we have the identical kick. And essentially, the last thing that I'm gonna go through with you guys is, the final bell harp coming mid-verse. So basically, here I've used this Kalima bell preset from Purity, where I've increased the attack to get rid of the harshness of the bell, and I've also added some chorus, heavy reverb, and a pretty harsh parametric EQ too. Okay, so it is, the breakdown is ready. So here's the final result.